Hello, in this video, we will be talking about reproductive autonomy. Should the autonomy be given to women? Nothing would advance women's welfare more than respecting their reproductive autonomy. Reproductive autonomy is central to women's welfare, both because childbearing takes place in women's bodies and because they are generally expected to take primary responsibility for child rearing. Unfortunately, such autonomy is a low priority for most societies or is anathema to their belief system altogether. This situation is doubly sad because women's reproductive autonomy is instinctively valuable for women and also instrumentally valuable for the welfare of humankind. By reproductive autonomy, I mean the power to decide when, if at all, to have children. Also, many, but not all, of the choices relevant to reproduction. Women should also generally determine how their pregnancy will be carried out and how the birth will happen. New technologies are, however, continuously raising new questions, and reproduction both require and affects others children, men, society at large. Many issues, therefore, must be examined on case by case basis. Belief systems that devalue women's reproductive autonomy are widespread. They are more or less explicit and are based on variety of religious and philosophical ideas. Most influential in Western societies are probably the biblical sources that depict women's origin in Adam's ribs as a mark of their subservient nature. The history is somewhat different in each country, particularly Muslim countries. Although each appears to have had similar outcomes with respect to women's reproductive autonomy. Although feminists have quite rightly objected to the medical paternalism, for some women this has meant in practice that abortion is available to them on demand, without further restrictions imposed by state. As this reproductive autonomy can be misused by selective reproduction, which might lead to further problems in the society. That is why there are various restrictions imposed by different countries. In the Indian scenario, this right of reproductive autonomy, though incumbent to the present society of the contemporary era, can be seen to be clearly violated by the biased and archaic version of the legislators after the enchantment of the Surrogacy Regulation Bill 2016. Section 4B of the bill proposed to lay out certain essential qualifications without complying with which a family cannot opt for surrogacy procedure as an option to beget children. Provision 1 of Section 4B says that the women who wish to participate in surrogacy mechanism as a surrogate to the commissioning parents must be an ever married woman. The interpretation of this term should mean by any woman who is or was once married. This section is not only discriminatory and against the constitutional principle but also lacks an nexus with the object of legislation. This provision acts as a barrier factor for unmarried women and restricts them completely from bearing children for someone else in their capacity as a surrogate. This impinges upon their rights to reproduce or procreate and is criticized by organizations working for the development of women in Indian society. In India, abortion is an emotionally charged topic having grave connections with the people's sentiments. Not only social, but the judicial standpoint on this topic is equally evasive of the liberal philosophy. Section 312 of Indian Penal Code renders abortion to be a criminal activity. Delhi High Court has ruled that provisions under Section 312 can even apply to pregnant women herself who causes her own miscarriage. In year 1971, as an exception of this particular section came into force the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. Section 3 of the MTP Act makes the provisions for the allowance of abortion of pregnancy in cases where the continuation of the same would cause grave injury to mental or physical health. But this applies only to the married women, and unmarried women cannot find solace under it. This is a pertinent point to note, which reveals the states inclined towards the suppression of reproductive autonomy of unmarried women. The right to reproductive autonomy includes the right not to reproduce. The denial of opportunity to get an abortion to unmarried women is clear display of infringement of the right to reproductive autonomy. A brief examination of legislative viewpoint of the country with regard to the right of reproductive autonomy of unmarried women reveals its notion of deep-rooted patriarchy. It is about time the legislative authorities stop turning a blind eye to the changes in the societal structure and set side to enact a legal scenario where the cultural and moral differences are respectfully accepted and do not act as a judging parameter in the legislative duty. Good governance for great nation.